Hello and welcome to today's yoga question. I'm Lizzie Lassiter, and joining us is Judith Hanson Lassiter. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Lizzie.
We're celebrating the publishing of Mom's 10th book called Yoga Myths. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And we have an accompanying online course of the same name, Yoga Myths. You can find both of them here at lassiter.yoga. So I want to pull up the exact title of this book, Mom, because it has a really interesting word that I want to draw our attention to. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So this is the gorgeous cover. I was at the photo shoot. I just love this book, the cover of the book. I think it's so beautiful. And it's the exact title is Yoga Myths, What You Need to Learn and Unlearn for a Safe and Healthy Yoga Practice. So my question for you today, Mama, is what is this concept of unlearning and why do we need it in our yoga practice?
Well, if we look deeply at the philosophy of yoga, it's really about returning to our true self, rediscovering that which was never lost. And the analogy I like is like the work of a sculptor who takes the stone, and this is so magical to me. He's not really creating the statue from nothing. The sculptress is she's removing all the stone that isn't the statue. And that's an analogy to unlearning, because we think always of what we take in and what we learn, but I've found over the years as I've traveled around and taught that there are a lot of thoughts and teachings that I hear consistently in different languages, different cultures, different areas of the world that I believe we need to unlearn because they don't really resonate with my training as a physical therapist and my actual experience in my own body and with my students. It's so many times knowing, for example, how the shoulder actually rotates when you take it up over your arm up over your head, like it is in dog pose. It doesn't externally rotate at the end, and that's taught everywhere. And I'd like to offer people another way of looking at this body movement, which I believe is based in the kinesiology, the science of movement, that I learned and continue to study and once again have experienced. Because this practice and this teaching is a science, yes, but it is an art. And it just so happens at the end of the range in dog pose, the upper arm does not want to, quote unquote, roll outward.
So can you talk a little bit about, I know that you teach so experientially. How exactly are we, when we take this online course with you, when we read your book, Yoga Myths, how are we going to get the information actually into our bodies?
Well, we're going to start, we'll have some anatomy, of course, so we know where we are in the context of the body. But then there's actual practices. They're in the book, and they're also, you demonstrate them so nicely, and we're going to have you literally get down on the mat and practice. Plus, there's always homework between the sessions. I love to give homework. So I don't believe that we learn all the same way. Some of us are auditory learners, some of us are visual learners, some of us are kinesthetic, embodied learners. And I kind of feel like I have all of them. I like all of those modes. And so that's what this course does, is it brings all of that to you. It's not just intellectual knowledge. It's not just body knowledge with no training. It's together. It's all together.
That's something I love about your yoga teaching, Mom, is that there's nothing that's not immediately applicable. It's not esoteric. It's so practical and embodied. So last question before we close today. What does unlearning have, you spoke yet now about unlearning in the context of the physical body in our asana practice. But if we pull out for a moment and zoom out, how does unlearning relate to the broader project of spiritual practice?
Well, one of the things I believe is most important to unlearn is forgetting to watch the arising of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
We forget to do that. We have to unlearn our attachment to getting lost in our view of everything, and step back, as you said, and be able to see everything in a wider perspective, because perspective doesn't shape your life, it is your life. And that's one of the things we have done, I hope, with this video project, that this video course, is that we have widened your perspective. And what we very much like to do is to offer you this information, these experiences, in a way that you might even find fun, you might find amusing, that you might find interesting and fascinating. And what we really want is not a conversion experience. We want you to take what we offer you, what works for you, and use it in your teaching and use it in your life, because that's the job of a teacher, to offer.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I love about your approach, Mom, is that it's not just taking old yoga myths and replacing them with new rules. It's really asking the question, does this make sense? Feel it in your body. What might feel better in your body? And so people get to discover for themselves.
That's called learning.
All right. Thank you so much.
Namaste.
Bye, everyone.